What is up, guys? It's Mekabre. We're back with yet another Destiny 2 video, and today's video is going to be a little bit of a longer one. We got a lot to cover. It's something that needed to happen this weekend, and I'll explain why later on in the video. It is the Season 14 prep guide. We're a couple weeks out now. The season's rounding out. We're almost done. Season 14's almost here. Let's get ready. Before we start talking about the stuff that I think you need to get done during season 13 before season 14, there are a few things I'd like to address in terms of our goal by the end of April here. So if you guys have been keeping track, we had a goal, hit 50 subs, and then I was going to buy a face cam, possibly switch to streaming over on Twitch, streaming more often possibly, bunch of other fun stuff. And none of that has yet happened. We're still sitting at 40 out of 50 subs at the time of me recording the audio for this video. So if you'd like to see something happen, you gotta subscribe. And I know there's still like, I think now we're down to like 25% that haven't yet subscribed that watch my videos. So if you're one of those, please subscribe. Get us that goal. Let's see if we can't do something. But with that, let's jump into the Season 14 prep guide. This is everything that I have written down to date that I think is important for you to sit down and get done before the new season starts. Maybe it's some stuff that you already knew and probably have already been doing if you're an experienced player. But if you're new to the game, or maybe you're returning after a long time and you'd like to be prepared for this next season, as there is some fun stuff coming next season, then, maybe this is a good idea to take some notes on these and try and do some of these things. Now, there are a few great resources. I will have links down below, so check those out. There's a website that will make sure it'll tell you how ready you are for the next season. I've been using this a lot. It takes a lot of different things into account, and it's super simple to just log in, connect your account, and look at it. So let's jump into some of the first things that you're going to need to do. Okay, the first thing that I recommend doing, and I haven't heard anything on this, but I could have swore back last season this was going to be a thing, and for whatever reason it hasn't been, so I don't know why. But I think Vanguard tokens are disappearing at the end of the season, and that they're going to be gone away with permanently. So if you have a lot of Vanguard tokens, take the time and try and get through those. Not only is it a great source of legendary shards, but there's also a possibility you might get a god roll on some guns that are actually pretty good. And with sunsetting going away, there's no reason not to turn these in. You can also do the same with gunsmith materials. However, I would only do this if you have a large amount of them. Myself personally, way too many, so I actually am going to take the time to go through and hopefully get some good loot. Now, besides turning those Vanguard tokens in, like I said, I'm not sure if they are disappearing this season. It may be next season, so if you want to hold on to them, feel free. I'm just taking a little bit of risk precaution here and going ahead and deleting, or not deleting, turning them all in anyways. The next one, and this one I do know for a fact, shaders are actually going to disappear. I talked about this in a previous video. They're going to be out of your inventory. They're no longer going to be on your shaders list in your inventory, okay? So go into your inventory and delete them. But here's a quick tip. If you want to make it a little bit faster, go to Master Rahul, and each day he's going to have stacks of shaders that you can recycle. You recycle 5 at a time, and you get 5 legendary shards with, I think, 500 or maybe 1,000 glimmer back for that stack of 5. So for those of you who are like me and perhaps have stacks that are well beyond the 200s, this makes that process a lot faster and actually can be very beneficial. The reason we're deleting our shaders, not only are they disappearing, it's a quality source of resources, and that's something that we're going to jump into next. You guys need to make sure that your resources are stacked out. So Glimmer and Legendary Shards are the biggest ones, but they're also the easiest to fulfill. With Legendary Shards, you just delete purple gear, and voila. With Glimmer, you can get it from just killing enemies. Matter of fact, this wonderful thing called the Rainmaker, which is a consumable in your inventory, if you pop that, it'll drop Glimmer on precision kills, or there's an extra chance. That's amazing. The other resources that I would focus on are the Enhancement Cores, Enhancement Prisms, and Ascendant Shards. Now these 3 can be a little difficult to get. The Enhancement Cores will sometimes drop when you delete a piece of gear, but they can also drop by the use of a Finest Matter Weave, which will drop quite often. These are both in your consumable inventory area. Go check them out. Pop a Finest Matter Weave and it'll drop one. Only one, but after a certain kill. And that is how you get some enhancement cores. Past that, enhancement prisms and ascendant shards can be you get them from a lot of different things. While enhancement prisms are a little more easy to get if you get gear that is higher up and has already been used, you can turn around and delete this gear to get it back. Or you can buy these and ascendant shards from the gunsmith. Yep, that's right. Banshee will sell these to you. They are a little bit on the expensive side, so if you're a casual player and you're not going to take the time to do something like Grandmasters per se, definitely take the time to buy a few, but don't make yourself broke. If, however, you're a little bit beyond the casual player, take the time, put a group together, LFG, whatever the case may be, and go in and do LFGs, or go in and do Grandmasters, pardon me. These Grandmasters are going to drop a lot of Enhancement Prisms, and quite frequently will drop Ascendant Shards. Keep an eye out. No guarantees win, but there will probably be another double loot Nightfall before the end of the season. If there isn't, no worries, but when there is, I highly recommend going in, even if it's just the master version of the Nightfall, and grinding like crazy. Ascendant Shards are going to allow you to masterwork your armor. It takes a few to masterwork your exotic armor, however, it is well worth it. As for the Enhancement Prisms, that's the last couple tiers of your armor, but also used, as far as I know, I think no, just kidding. Enhancement cores are the only thing that are used for weapons. You're going to want to grind out and try and max out as many of these as you can. You can only hold 10 of the Ascendant Shards at a time and 50 Enhancement Prisms at a time, but keep in mind, any excess that you get will go to your Postmaster where they will stay. They will not get deleted, so do not worry about that. The other thing and resource that you're going to want to stack up on is your planetary resources. Okay, there are a few: helium filaments, barren bow, glacial star wart, etheric spiral, dusklight shard, spin metal leaves. Additionally, the microphasic dalus. Now, these are the ones that you're going to want to pick up on. These are the ones that are planets are sticking around. Feel free, you can go to each planet, you can open chests, you can do strikes on each planet. Matter of fact, there is a mod on your Go shell called Materialism. I highly recommend every time you go into Vanguard strikes, if you already have decent loot, or perhaps even in the Crucible as well, and Gambit, there's one for each. If you have good loot, the specific loot from those activities, feel free to put on the Materialism, and the activity that you're doing drops extra, or at least there's a chance of it. That's what I've been doing as of late to try and bump my numbers up. Alright, now let's move on to another resource that you're going to want to have a decent amount of. Well, that is actually your Spoils of Conquest. The Spoils of Conquest come from doing the raid. Now, what raid? Well, as of right now, I think they only come from one raid. Could be incorrect in that statement, I'm not sure. But by doing Deepstone, do that raid over and over on all 3 characters or multiple times through until you have the max stack of, I think it's 240. Try and get as close to that as possible. Now, here's the deal. Be cautious of this. I don't think anything new is going to be coming to that vault at the tower, but if something does and you would like to purchase it with your Spoils of Conquest, just be prepared. I myself am sitting at a little under 200 and I'm not too concerned because I already have everything in there except for a Sparrow, I think, and past that, I have no reason to save up more than I do. I'm going to try and hit that 240 mark by the end of the season, but no guarantees. Just do that in case. However, if you don't have Anarchy yet, highly recommend save up that 240, go in and buy Anarchy. It is well worth it. Now, let's jump back a second. There is another exotic consumable or currency piece that you're going to want to get your hands on, and matter of fact, multiple of you probably already do. This ties right in with the Spoils of Conquest, and that's the exotic Cipher. You can go to Zur and pick up a quest, or you can actually get one from the Season's Pass. This is used in a lot of different ways. Go on, pick one up, hold on to it. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Now, moving past those, let's jump in to some other things that you need to get done. Now, for those of you who are curious, Season 13 weapons from the Prismatic Recaster are not likely to go away. They will probably remain in the current state. You will still be able to farm for them, and to some degree, Battlegrounds is sticking around as we know, so you will be able to actually save up and more than likely look for the Season 13 God rolls that you may not have. But, let's be honest, when new loot comes out, we all get sidetracked and we forget about the old stuff. Take the time, get the God rolls done now. Once you have those God rolls done, you can move on, and then once Season 14 does come around and the new loot is insane, you can take the time and go get the new loot instead. Highly recommend getting the God rolls that you would like. I, myself, am still looking for 2 more, the Linear Fusion and the Rocket Launcher, that are just perfect, but I have yet to find them, and boy, oh boy, too many Umbral engrams have been wasted. Now, past that, there is another thing you're going to want to work on, and this is one that I feel like a lot of people probably already have done, but it's wise that you get it done right now. Seeing as how we haven't been told that new stuff is coming, but it's highly likely, you're going to want to finish all the fragment quests for your stasis subclasses on your characters. Go to the stranger, turn your memory fragments in. If the quest is not completed, it should stay in your inventory. However, the memory fragments will disappear from your consumable slot, as far as I know, and you'll have to farm, or you'll have to do the quest for the new ones. Get the ones done that you currently have, so that way moving forward in the next season, if new ones drop, you are ready to go. Now, what is another thing you're going to need to get done that's possibly disappearing or resetting? Well, we're not exactly sure, but there's a chance that some of the presage triumphs are going to reset based on the season. So feel free to go in and make sure that you have everything done that you need to get done. If you're looking for the seal, go in and do that as well. If you have yet to do presage, there is a guide up on my YouTube here, and I highly recommend, or on my channel here, and I highly recommend that you go and watch it. However, it is not super in depth, and there's a reason for it, and all the other YouTubers agree with me on this. Take the time, figure it out. It is very enjoyable that way. Now, let's jump back a second and let's talk preparation further, okay? We want to be max level, okay? And I'm talking max light level, or as close to that pinnacle level as possible this season. This season, it is 1310. The reason I say you need to be as close to 1310 as possible is because starting next season, our light is only going to jump by 10 levels from now on. So it'll be 1320 will be the max light of next season. Why is this important? Why should you care? Well, if you're planning on doing day one Vault of Glass, or perhaps if a new dungeon drops, which in the air right now it's being talked about, you would probably want to be as close to that max light as possible right out of the chute in order to do it, right? Well, being 1320 isn't going to be that large of a jump, especially if you have 3 characters, pinnacle drops, so on and so forth, but the further away you are from 1310, the longer it's going to take, while it should be a shorter jump. The other reason I would highly recommend being 1310 at the start of the season is because the only light level that you're going to gain past those 10 is going to be from your artifact. The artifact, seasonal artifact, it's going to have a bunch of mods on it, and the only way to upgrade that is through XP gain, which leads us into the next thing that you should be doing right now, and that is saving bounties. You're going to want to save bounties, and here are some of the bounties you're going to want to save. If you haven't already, don't delete your Iron Banner bounties. There's a good chance, which I'm thinking is going to go through, that they will actually remain in your inventory, and you'll be able to turn them in for the new Iron Banner weapons. There's 4 of them: a shotgun, a hand cannon, a machine gun, and a sniper. 2 we've seen before, 2 we have not seen before, and they're all coming back. This is in order to make that day 1 jump as large as possible, okay? In order to not only get that XP bonus and boost your way through the season's pass, but also to boost the XP bonus for your artifact in order to unlock new mods and make your life much easier. So I highly recommend maxing out on daily bounties. There are a couple weekly bounties in the game over on the Cosmodrome, additionally on the Moon. I recommend that you pick those up. Alright, past bounties and all of that, there's a couple other things that we need to talk about, and those are a couple things that maybe you've done, maybe you haven't. I'm leaning more towards it's likely that you have already done this. All the exotic armor pieces that are currently found in Legendary and Master Lost sectors will be exchanged for new armor pieces. Yes, that's right. Brand new exotic armor pieces, 1 for each class, more than likely, possibly 2, will come and drop in the new Legendary and Master Lost sectors. The old exotic armor pieces, the ones we're currently farming for, will be made available to exotic engrams. So if you have exotic engrams and you haven't had the chance to do the Master and Legendary Lost sector, save them. You'll possibly get the new armor pieces that, well, were new for Season 13, but if not, don't fret. Go in and farm those lost sectors until you get the chest piece for each character this season. Past that, the other thing you're going to want to do, and this is currently, as of this weekend, this week, at Tuesday at Reset is the last day for it. Keep in mind, the Adept Palindrome is going to be going away for a little bit, and here is why. We've already been told that at the beginning of next season, during next season, we're getting new Nightfall weapons. We're getting 3, matter of fact. And with this, the Palindrome, the Swarm, and Shadow Price are all just gonna take a second and not be available. So if you don't have a good Palindrome or an Adept Palindrome that you would like, now is the time to do it. Also keep in mind, if you are farming Grandmasters, you can choose whichever one you would like as of this week. So take the time and farm right now. The other thing, and this is one of the final things before we wrap it up, keep in mind Guardian Games is going to end with the season. But what should you be doing during Guardian Games? Well, first off, actually take the time and put effort towards your class. I know right now it looks like Titans are all in defeat, but remember last year how the Hunters played for maybe 2 days and then all left. Well, then Titans kind of dominated. So let's see if we can't mix it up a little bit and see if we can have some closer a couple closer days, we'll see. Okay. But what else should you be doing? What is worth doing? I do have a video up already talking about Guardian Games. It's in a nutshell, real fast video. But the Heir Apparent and its Catalyst are now available. There's a quest that you can complete. It will drop the Heir Apparent for those who do not have it. Well, a quest to get Heir Apparent. Once you've completed that quest and you have Heir Apparent in your inventory, you get the Catalyst completely randomly by turning in medals. Once you've turned in a certain amount of medals, random amount of medals, doesn't matter. It's all, it's all luck, essentially. Once you get the Catalyst, it's a 3-step process. You have to collect medals, you have to complete contender cards, you have to get a couple kills with a machine gun, and then the Catalyst drops for you, which is 700 kills to unlock. Super, super simple. Take the time, get those done. Even if you don't finish the Catalyst, at least unlock it for your gun, so that way you have it for future reference. It is dominating the Crucible right now, so take the time to do it. Well, boy. Like I said, this is going to be a little bit of a longer video, but that is it. As far as I know, there's nothing else that you need to take the time to do right now. Make sure you stock up on a couple of engrams so at the start of the season maybe you could get maybe you get lucky, you know, maybe an Umbra engram drops something crazy for you. I don't know if that's going to be the case, and I can't tell you, and possibly the future will have an update as to whether or not that may be the case. Take the time, grind it out now, so that way you don't have to later. Also keep in mind, I made a little video on this, take the time to grind and make sure you're prepared for Season 14, but also take the time to do something else. Take the time to play another game, read a book, go outside, enjoy life past Destiny, because we all know once Season 14 drops, you're going to be drawn right back into this game and probably grind more than you would like. Don't get burnt out. Take the time to do something else. With that, I have nothing else to say except for get back to grinding, you crazy Guardians.